I was like the boxing referee Arthur Mercanti, stepping one step back and letting you go to it. What did he say?
I just don't want him walking around trotting out tripe on tropes of misinformation about...
What's a trope? Explain.
A trope is a sort of a platitude that is steeped in some perceived fact.
About what?
About the fact that last week Graham said the reason why Gerrard's going to be under pressure from the owners is because he spent a lot of money.
No.
Yes, you did. I can get the audio and play it. I want to help you. I don't want people pointing at you go, there he goes, doesn't know what he's talking about.
Let me explain.
I want you to be accurate.
You had the chair for long enough. People are now bored. I can see.
Well, you're bored because you don't like the facts.
So let me explain the difference I was talking about. He's sitting there, his calculator.
Simon.
Yes, my colleague, sitting there with the calculator.
I'm not.
And
I'm helping you.
Oh,
correcting you.
He's sitting there with the calculator at hand and the accountant's head on. I'm talking about the pressure comes in management when you spend, not what you net spend, not the net spend,
switch.
what you spend.
Not what you said.
That's what I'm saying now.
No, but you're baiting and switching. You're changing your argument.
I've not mentioned your side of the argument because it's not what I said last week.
Myself and Jim.
The pressure comes on when you spend money.
Fantastic.
Does that work for you?
That's not what you said. Last week you said...
I'm saying that now.
You trotted this tripe out last week and you've done it 2 or 3 times and I've told you on numerous occasions.
I don't know why.
I'm going to write it down and I want you to read it in your own leisure.
If you spend money...
big.
If you spend money...
a certain amount of money.
It's horrible when people talk over each other. So please try and listen to me. It's what you spend as a manager that brings you under pressure. If they don't work out, that's what brings you. It's not what the account... From the supporters, they're the ones that keep you in a job.
And so from the other side of the equation, the position that you don't know, which is what the owner thinks, right?
That's the net
so you've got a living embodiment of the former owners that can tell you how I would perceive it.
Graham, one or two people are saying Greame Souness will not attack Gerrard for not being good enough. It's as simple as that. There's a fellow, Graham, saying he was incompetent.
Is he with an H or with an E, that chap?
An H. He couldn't survive in the job. He had to go. There's nothing to do with bad luck, injury.
I've never mentioned bad luck or injury. I've never mentioned that with him. I think he's proven not to be good enough for Aston Villa in the last 12 months.
But we dragged you kicking and screaming there.
So you get the sack. Where I was coming from, I mentioned Ranieri. Go again. Unless the disappointment's too much for him to take, the risk of going back is too much for him to take. He doesn't want that disappointment again.
What kind of model is that to follow? The Ranieri model? Quantity instead of quality.
If you really love football.
I'll make your mind up. Last week you were slaughtering somebody for having 7 jobs. You're a hypocrite. Yes, you did. You turned around and said, that's not much of a model for someone to employ. So I'm an owner, so I don't know which person I'm talking to. And the reason why I have to interrupt you every now and again, because I can't allow you to pollute the airwaves of nonsense.
You cannot keep throwing this nonsense out there. Who was I talking about? 7 jobs. Who was I talking about?
You were talking about Roberto De Zerbi.
I was talking about the Brighton manager.
Yes.
When we had the chief executive on. And I said, 7 jobs in 9 years.
You had 8.
7 jobs. Yeah, but I managed for 20 years.
Yeah, but 5 of them would last about a year and a half.
No, that's nonsense. That's
nonsense. Go back and look at it again. We did it the other day.
You rely
How many times are you side?
Excuse me. He relies too much on Wikipedia.
I don't.
Where I rely on my brain, which I've been in football all my life.
You didn't know how many jobs you had.
And I understand.
You asked me how many jobs you had.
I had 8 jobs in 20 years.
In 20 years.
11 trophies. 11 trophies in 3 different countries.
You did, and 3 of them lasted 11 years, and the other 5, the other 4 lasted 7.
I'm quite happy with my. Yeah, I'd love to have been more successful.
Yeah, but you're sending out mixed messages.
I was a big player. Steven Gerrard's a big player. He's finding it really difficult.
But you just criticised Gerrard. You're saying, go down the Ranieri route, right? But 2 weeks ago, don't get all huffy and puffy because you can't have your say. 2 weeks ago, you said it's a bad look for an owner to look at a guy that's had X amount of jobs. Now you're advocating for it.
If you listen to what I'm saying, because you're not very good at listening. And that's,
I do listen.
If someone who talks more than you listen, you're not going to learn very much going forward in life. Now, you're not too late to learn. How old are you?
A lot younger than you.
Yeah, exactly.